Take a listen at the Russian President Vladimir Putin invite to Moscow the Ukrainian President Volodymir Zelensky for a meeting on the war in Ukraine anytime he is ready, so as to find a settlement in the conflict and probably bring the war to an end. These are remarks that the Russian leader made in the evening of September 3, 2025, shortly before leaving China upon conclusion of his visit to Beijing, a visit that saw him participate in China's 80th Victory Day military parade, and remarks in which he also called for a referendum in Ukraine to legitimize negotiation and settlement of territorial dispute between Russia and Ukraine, since he deems President Zelensky's term in office as illegitimate. As to potential meetings with Mr. Zelensky, now, I've always said, and I already said, that I've never ruled out such a meeting. But I'm not sure whether this can be meaningful. In accordance with the Ukrainian constitution, I know there may be different opinions about this, but if you can just go and read the actual text of the constitution, there is no way to extend the president's term. There is no tool in the constitution to do that. After you serve your 5 years as president, your time is over. There is a provision that says that under martial law, elections shall not be held. That is true. But it doesn't mean that the president's term is prolonged. His term runs out, and his authority is passed down to the Speaker of the Ukrainian Parliament, including his authority as the Supreme Commander-in-Chief. So what should the current government do if they want to be legitimate and take part in the settlement process? They should hold a referendum in accordance with the Ukrainian constitution. Any kind of territorial issues are resolved through referendums, as far as I remember. But you cannot have a referendum under martial law. That is also enshrined in the constitution. In order to hold a referendum, you should lift martial law. Soon as you lift martial law, you'll need to have elections, and this process can be dragged out forever. The outcome of the elections is unclear, but whatever result you have, you will have to obtain an opinion of the Constitutional Court according to the law. And if you want to have an opinion of the Constitutional Court, the procedure is there if the Constitutional Court is requested to prolong the authority of the President, and if the Constitutional Court refuses to do that, what can you do? Now, the thing they did in Ukraine is that the security guards declined to allow the judge of the Constitutional Court to access his workplace. That is how they did it, and I don't know where he is currently located, but I know that there was a time when he left the country. And recently, the term of service of some of the Constitutional Court judges ran out, so there is no quorum. And if we meet with the current head of administration, let's put it this way. It is possible. I never rule this out. If the meeting is well prepared and if it leads to a positive potential outcome, it is possible. And by the way, Donald asked me if it's possible to have such a meeting, and I said that it is. After all, if Zelensky is ready, he can come to Moscow. This is quite possible.
Ну, в конце концов, если Зеленский готов, пусть приезжает в Москву, такая встреча состоится.